Hey everyone, it's the Blazer King with King's Critiques. I know I promised doing this yesterday as soon as I got home from the movie, but I've not been feeling the best over the past fucking 48 some odd hours. But good news is I know it's not COVID because I ate a Skittle and I could taste it. So that's always the first thing I check is taste buds. So ain't the no-no virus. Might not be allergies, might just be a cold. I really don't get colds often, so honestly, it might just be my allergies hyperreacting. But I apologize if I cough, snort, or anything like that during today's reviews that get uploaded, just like yesterday. As for this review, well, we're going to be doing for the movie, because I went to see it yesterday, and it was really good, and that's the review. I'm kidding, that's not the review. Fuck. I'm going to start fucking some music. I don't think it'll get picked up on the microphone. Maybe it will. I'll shut up for a second and find out. Well, it seems like it's picking that up. So I'm just going to turn it down a little bit more, so that way I can be heard. Alright, so everyone knows that the movie was a prequel to the current season that we know of and the one that is coming out. So the question is, what exactly gets shown in the prequel here? Well, few things. One, we get a new character actually shown and his background explained. We didn't really get it said we were told of his existence in the first season. I don't remember that, but something I looked up regarding the film to get this picture actually told me that, which I didn't know he was brought up in season one. But yeah, our boy Yuta is the main character in the movie, alongside the usual cast of Gojo and the rest of the older class that gets shown in season one, Panda, Maki, and uh, I don't know why his name is escaping me. The dude who speaks in rice bowl ingredients. But first, on the graphics end, the fighting scene graphics are just as amazing as always. And I think they like up the fan service end of the graphics just a little bit because like Maki always looks good in the show, but she looks like a real baddie in the movie. Like they give more pronunciation to her chest, to the little bit of thigh that pops out of her stockings, and just not to mention the white hair chick wants to bang Gojo. Like when they show her later in the film, which yes is technically a spoiler, but I mean, come on, it's a movie. Like they always try and get the big, long-lasting characters and shit like this. Plus, they had a minor character pop up who, for the most part, looked like a hentai protagonist, despite the fact it was a girl. You know, the whole fucking hair covering the eyes thing. Like, I'm pretty much always gonna relate that kind of character to a hentai protagonist. Or antagonist, I guess, depending on the type of hentai. But, anyway. That chick was pretty hot, too. But let's go back to the actual important parts of this. Yuta. Yuta is our main character in this. And, well, going into the more spoilery portion, the ability he ends up having is actually really fucking cool. It's a shame he skip ahead 10 seconds if you don't want the spoiler on this. Okay, 15 seconds. This it's a shame he loses that ability for the most part because it was a curse he placed upon himself. But he does discover some secrets about himself that will make him a great Jujutsu sorcerer in the long run. So I'm guessing that maybe we'll get to see more of him in season 2, because he didn't die. Like, we thought he was going to die at one point in the movie, but that just didn't happen. The main antagonist for this movie, however, was one of Gojo's best friends, but he did suffer the untimely fate of death because he chose to be on the wrong side of war. Which honestly, not to get political, I hope doesn't happen to us. But that's just a side thought. Movie-wise, anyway, like... Excuse me again. The fighting scenes are all badass. Like, one-on-ones, group killing of curses. Like, it's all, honestly, so, like, Gojo takes on the dude that's on the antagonist side in this war. And it ends up to be a pretty well choreographed and awesome fight. That and Yuta facing off against the main antagonist, those two fights are some of the best ones in the film. There are some other really cool fights that take place, but those are probably two of the best ones, and apparently the dude Gojo fights ends up, just being a good guy again, because apparently in the post-credits scene, which I did not watch because I left the theater during the credits because I really had to pee and didn't bother to go back. But apparently in the post-credits cutscene, they skip to the future. Gojo talks with Yuta while Yuta's eating with the dude Gojo fought with earlier in the film. So I'm guessing that, man, he's a good guy again. Or Yuta turned out to be a bad guy, but that's highly unlikely comparatively, honestly. But, That also, I mean, if Yuta didn't die and could come back in season 2, there was some kind of, connection between him and Maki, so I mean, got some shit bait right there. Because there was, honestly, of course, the time they had to go actual arrow scene and have Panda ask him what kind of women he likes. Girls with small boobs or big boobs, and, well, you'd answered big boobs, and Maki has a pretty good rack. Like, you might not be able to tell that in most scenes in season 1 of the anime, but in this movie, like I said, they just kind of more well define the characters of these traits of theirs. Yeah, like, the movie will probably be in theaters for another week or so before people need to illegally download it. Which, if you can't afford it, I'm not going to say to illegally download it, but I'm also not going to say to illegally download it. However, I do have the slight thought of the way they, like, transition between different scenes every now and then. Perhaps we're going to get this kind of like Mugen Train and the Dragon Ball Super movies and stuff where they'll actually just cut it up into various episodes leading into the next season. Like, I could believe them doing that. Instead of making people, either pay for or do something illegal to try and watch this film. They might honestly do that so people can watch it properly. Granted, at slightly less quality, perhaps. Can't say that for Mugen Train. I know the Super movies did that for Dragon Ball Z, because Battle of the Gods and Resurrection F looked like shit. But, yes. Like, overall, from the time Yuta ends up in a situation like Yuji, which, honestly, if he comes back in season 2, they're going to be the best of fucking friends. Like, that is without it. Yuta and Yuji are going to be the very best of friends. After Yuta tries to kill Yuji at least once, probably, because of the whole Sukuna thing. Sukuna? Sasu? I think it's Sukuna. See, now I gotta check this, because I'm not... Hey, look at that! I was right the first time. Sakuna. Go me! Woo! But, yeah, other than their slight issues that could come with that, which I feel they would do just to reflect on what happened the first moment Yuta stepped into the high school with Maki and Panda and stuff. Because those three tried to go after Yuta and kill him, which the curse he had at the time did not like that idea, for the record. It's not really an important topic to stay on with the curse he had, but I may as well go into it. From here, it'll probably be more spoilers than anything, so you might want to, like, just stop watching or something. But if you do stop watching here to avoid spoilers, do hit the like button and subscribe. That'd be much appreciated. As well as all the other stuff I usually go over in the ending of the videos. But, as soon as Yuta stepped into that classroom, they tried to kill him, and he had a spirit attached to him that was basically a guardian angel, because anytime someone fucked with him, that curse just killed anyone. Because the movie basically opened up with Yuta getting bullied by 3 people in school. Kind of like how Doi was getting his ass kicked in World's End Harem. Yes, I'm bringing up a technical, not hentai, in this review, because it's an actual good example. And when those 3 bullies were kicking the shit out of him, his curse did not appreciate that, so she shoved them in a locker. Not like your typical bully shoving in a locker, but like forced crushed their bodies into the locker. So was not a pretty sight when they panned on that. Excuse me. My thought immediately when I saw that was, that's only a face a mother could love. Then when they mentioned it later, I'm like, oh, that's why. Because it didn't click with me immediately when I saw that kind of thing. But, yeah. I'd say that way too much, probably because it's my thinking onomatopoeia, and yeah, like, after they try to kill him and learn that's not a smart idea, because his curse just pretty much grabs Maki's spear and breaks it after she's told not to kill them. So they learn to deal with what he can do and train him and shit. Maki, being as standoffish as always, he hasn't even realized why she is how she is until, like, the latter half of the film, after the antagonist calls her the failure of the Zenin clan, which, by this point, if you've seen season 1 of the anime, you know why they say that. Although, being the fact she has beaten her sister in a couple fights, that means she's not the weak one, is she? Which, that's another thing. We got to see all those characters in the latter half of the film, and they actually played a semi-badass role, I'm not even gonna lie. But, yeah, Yuta basically got the Yuji treatment throughout most of that movie until he had his, like, typical anime protagonist moment where he was underestimated by the main antagonist and he just went ham. That's actually the simplest way I can put that. Like, he'd hold a single thing back and he was willing to give up his own life to win that fight. And it was just an amazing fight scene to watch between those two. So, like, if you can afford to see it in the theaters, I would say see it in the theaters. If you can't, wait for it to be split up into anime episodes or something. And if you've seen it already by the time you see this uploaded, let me know your thoughts on the anime, or on the anime. Well, the anime in general is good, but on the movie for the anime, let me know your thoughts, opinions. Will Yuta show up in season 2? Because the post-credit scene was a time skip, and from the article I read where I got this picture from, it seemed like they're led to believe it's far enough ahead to the current point in the anime. Is that true or not? I suppose we'll see in a few months when season 2 drops. I don't know if there's an actual release date announced yet. Hopefully it's soon. I mean, we get Comey Season 2 and a bunch of other seasons 2, 3, whatever, for things that ended not long ago within the next couple months. So, I mean, maybe. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, opinions about the movie, what other anime I should watch in the comment section down below. Please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to my main channel in the description down below. Ring both bells like Facebook, follow Twitter to keep updated with things. Follow me on Twitch or subscribe there for benefits, because it helps me out immensely. All the subscriptions do. Until next time, man the Blaze King with King's Critique. Sign out. Ta-ta for now. Peace.